What's up, guys? Johnny Con here, aka Not Such the Conqueror. If you ever wondered why my videos look kind of mysterious, it's just that the bulb on the vanity mirror is kind of like old, but I kind of like it. It gives it like a weird, mysterious kind of lighting to it. That's why I kind of don't want to change it. The lighting, it would be like too bright or too yeah. Anyways, I've been thinking about Cthulhu the last couple of days. You know, I have to leave the comments off because, this subject attracts a lot of controversy, especially in the occult community, you know. And it's interesting because, if you do your research, there's a lot of older, reputable cultists that, do believe in the Necronomicon or its power or respect it. Not that you shouldn't see things for yourself. But anyways, it's interesting because I try to bring a scientific it's like I try to bring a scientific mind even to the occult or quote unquote magic. And the interesting thing is that the more that I do things, it's like the more I'm finding out like how powerful the Necronomicon is. I was looking at a video earlier today. I forgot what his name is, but he was saying that the Necronomicon is, it's no joke compared to the Goetia, the Goetia demons. And I've seen results from the Goetias almost like instantly, you know. But in terms of like providing an experience, the Necronomicon, like hands down, of all the magic shit that I've done, like the Goetia, just by saying some words, right before you go to sleep, it's like a sleep paralysis on steroids. I swear. Like I said, I don't like lies. I don't like bullshit. I like to document my experiences, no matter how outlandish they may seem, how outlandish or even ridiculous. I mean, first of all, if you're a newbie, if you're like a normie, you probably shouldn't even be watching this channel. Or much less like a super hardcore Christian. Not everybody is meant to go through the occult journey, in their life path. At least that's what I think. Some people are still going through the religious programming or whatever. But, I think true spirituality is beyond religion. It's beyond orthodox beliefs of a quote unquote God. But that's another story. But, anyways, my first experience with Cthulhu was listening to a dream incubation as I slept. You could find it on YouTube. It's by Lord Nocturnus, or I think his name's now just Nocturnus on YouTube. Look up for dream incubation for Cthulhu. The interesting thing is that I was listening to the audio, and it's basically just the Cthulhu's quote unquote N. It's kind of hard to pronounce, but the author, who's a friend of mine, he did it, and I was listening to it as I went to sleep. And the interesting is I had a very intense dream, kind of like where you feel the fear of life and death. I basically dreamt I was walking these planks high up in the sky, and no safety. You either walk the plank or you fall down and you die. So it's almost like I felt like fear. Imagine being like in the highest building and walking a plank or a beam. And I'm all like, I guess I did pass the test because I'm all like, instead of walking the plank, I kind of like ducked down and kind of like shimmied my way along the plank. But anyways, I woke up from the dream, and I swear to you, I woke up and I saw an apparition before my bed. You know, and I've had these before. So it's nothing new, right? But I'm saying that just the incubation alone, or just the end of Just visualizing going underneath the ocean to a monolith with sigils on it was enough to trigger this experience. But I woke up from the intense dream and I saw an apparition at the foot of my bed. And I'm like, Cthulhu, is that you? And then it just looked at me and it just vanished. I don't know if it was Cthulhu or one of his followers. Sorry. The next one, my friend, he's very good at crafting his own spells or whatever. Like he has like 20 years experience. And I think this chant was given to him in one of his dreams with a Necronomicon person. See, a lot of grimoires and a lot of chants are downloaded through meditations or astral traveling to the actual source. But it was legit. I chanted this chant before I went to sleep, and just the chant alone, I swear to you, just chanting it 5 times induced a very powerful sleep paralysis. I'm not even gonna say it was a paralysis. I just fucking warped into another dimension. And I could like hear like a voice, but I can't even remember what it was saying. But it was intense. And this happened again. A couple of days ago, I put a Necronomicon sigil underneath my pillow. I recited the end. I visualized going into the ocean. Boom! It happened again. And I saw like writings on the ocean floor, almost like a projector. And I felt that weird vibe, like I was going through purplish matter or something. And I woke up, and I spent the next couple of hours, like at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm all like, who is this Cthulhu? Like what? What's his mythos, or what are his values or lack of? And I guess he's like a force of nature. If you follow the occult, you know that thought forms or egregores gain traction. And I'm trying to figure out how, like, if this is a thought form, like, how long ago did it form? Because it's very, very powerful. And what's more, I was in my research, I was finding out that there's other versions of the Necronomicon. It's almost like a mystery. It's meant to be a mystery, because that's, in a way, that's what gives it its power. Because in the wrong hands, you could do a lot of damage. So in a way, it's kind of a good thing that people dismiss it. But anyways, these are my random thoughts on Cthulhu. All right, this is Johnny Khan, aka Nasa to Conquer. Peace.